Hello, class, and welcome to another wonderful chart reading. This one is especially special because this is a mother and son chart. The first thing you may notice here, let me zoom in a little bit for you guys because I'm really excited about this one, is that the ascendant, the rising, the mask, the way that they appear. Because remember, guys, the whole chart is for both people. This is like both energies have merged together and created one person. The full nature of that relationship is in Cancer, which means family, roots, foundation, which makes sense and is great for um, a family chart, a mother-son bond here. So it's important to recognize that when looking at a chart. Just say, for instance, you don't know the relationship of somebody. If you see that they have Cancer ascendant, assume that they are automatically family. um, with them having their North Node, which is the next thing you look at here, the North Node, the purpose of this relationship, this lets you know that this is a karmic relationship, right? Because, or it's going into the 12th house. This is a reward of karma moving into being family together. So where is the South Node? You trace that across. The South Node is right, like, well, the South Node would be on top of this because you always look, they match up with exact degrees. South Node would be right on top of this Chiron and Capricorn. So what does this mean? They used to be co-workers. Wild, right? They used to work together for some reason or have a business or be business partners either. And there was some sort of wound in that that is still reflected in this life. Maybe they have a hard time dealing with each other on a day-to-day basis, even still as mother and son. But whatever the gripe was that they had, it was so deep that this time around, the energy of their karmic bond made them come together as mother and son to sort of diffuse that energy in this life. And so when they step into that bond of starting to respect each other's boundaries, starting not to give too much of oneself and not taking care of oneself. So there's some give and take in this relationship, some boundaries that have to be assessed, which is normal, totally normal for a mother and son relationship. Y'all know how those can go. So after we assess this, we're going to look at where the sun is here. Where's the identity? Where's the ego? Where's the heart of this relationship? It's in the fifth house at home in Leo, but it's in Scorpio. So this means they have a lot of great connection to one another. Their identity is in the fact that that's the mother-child relationship, because remember, the fifth house is the house of children. But also that there are some things that they don't say to each other. Maybe they have also endured some difficult situations because of the Scorpio energy. There might be some secrets between them because of Scorpio energy, but definitely also could possibly be some control issues or some possessiveness on one end or the other. Maybe the son doesn't want the mother to date, or maybe the mom has a hard time with the son dating or having friends or anything like that. There's just, with so many planets right here, because we're looking at the sun right now, but take note of what next to it is next to it. There are so many planets right here in the sign of Scorpio, which means that there's a lot of control, a lot of care with this relationship that goes into here. Um, I'm umming it the hell up today, right, guys? So let's go back to this first house in the sign of Cancer. First house in the sign of Cancer, the ego, the identity is a love bond, a family bond, mother, son. Also in this house is the sign of Leo, which means child. Um, Literally, it's your children. The child energy is here. So that's literally mother and son. Isn't that cute? That's wonderful how that turned out. Usually they're not this textbook perfect, but hey. So the second house about their values and what they could do together that would bring money into this world if they wanted to work together. Leo things. They laugh together. They have fun, entertain one another, but also they'd be good at politics, acting, dancing, anything that puts on a show. These guys sort of ham it up together. This leads to the third house of the way they communicate, which is in the sign of Virgo. This is sort of like a co-worker working towards a goal still, but for each other's health. The way they talk to each other is because they care about each other. That's what this is. But they care about each other in an analytical, sort of maybe sometimes nitpicky way in order to help them be their best selves. Now, this fourth house is in the sign of Libra, which means that their house is about balance, art. It also can be maybe aristocratic, maybe very traditional. Also could be something that happens here. But with them having Pluto, which is the planet of transformation in this house, this means that their vibe will go from this balanced Libra energy of a partnership, maybe sort of I'm about to mess this word, aristocrats, aristocratic, there we go, energy that was in the home, fine arts, classic music, all that sort of thing. But that was meant to transform to the Scorpio energy, which means that there's a bit secrets. Maybe they deal with some death. Maybe they deal with some more control energy. Maybe at some point the son in this relationship sort of wild out and it changed the tone of their relationship or something. Or he grew up and his feelings changed about having to share so much of his life. That could be a possibility also. He got around some bad friends is also a possibility, because look at this. With Uranus, I'm sorry, Uranus, with Pluto here, transformation, you always look at the eighth house, which is the ruler of this Pluto, and you see what that is. Aquarius, that's friends, the internet, getting with a certain group changed the way that a family dynamic works to something shadier here. Because Scorpio, that is in control of the eighth house, and what changed in the relationship at home is right here down here. The Mars, the passion got put in this sort of place where things were sort of hidden. Mercury, which is the way that they express themselves, sort of got put there as well. Like there are a lot of words that wouldn't be said between them. But with Uranus, the planet of radical change here, that means that this is meant to change somewhere in the future as their relationship blossoms. It'll go from this secret energy, keeping so many secrets, and having not a, like having a connection, but sometimes it's too intense. We'll change into this optimistic, sort of free understanding of each other's space and boundaries and all that sort of energy, which will lead into the sixth house where you see the moon, which is the emotions, the emotional waves that they have between each other is. So that's in Sagittarius. They enjoy the freedom of their feelings, and this is in their day-to-day life. They like to be optimistic. They like to philosophize. This is also where Neptune is. So that directly connects to where their karma is being played out. In their day-to-day life, they are learning to come together and just laugh would be the case, but also to explore and step outside of everything their family lineage has already put in place for them. Venus is here as well, so their values are in each other's freedom in their day-to-day life. Also, their jobs, they probably enjoy working, like doing things outside the box, or even in a foreign land could be a possibility as well with this, just somewhere outside of where they came from, which is with Maryland and Virginia. So we come sort of half circle, but full circle to this Chiron, which is the wound that they're supposed to use in order to help other people. There's a wound in the way that they work that is sort of stoic on a day-to-day basis, but it's something that is meant to be turned into a blessing, them sort of working through this energy of having a hard time working together or coming together for a common goal, because that's what their relationship is meant for with the seventh house of partnership. Their partnership is meant to be something together for the family, even possibly building a business online with Aquarius there is also as well also. Also with also with them having this Aquarius in eighth house, this is a friendship on sex matters, which great, because you never want to see something like I don't even know, I don't even want to think of an example like Libra in eighth for a son and child. You just don't want that. But this Aquarius here means that there will be some radical change in finances, inheritances, real estate that's exchanged between them. There's not much here because there's no planet. Pisces in ninth means that they will get spiritual enlightenment if they ever travel together. There are no planets. The MC means that they really enjoy music, art, drawing, their imagination, creative things like poetry together. That would be their peak together, just enjoying that sort of activity. Who they are known to the world as, although it's this peaceful musical couple, maybe even, because sometimes Pisces is about addiction, dreams, movies, film, but also there's a lot of Aries in here, which means that they might argue a lot. A lot of people might know them for their fight for their own individuality in this relationship, but also that's where Saturn is. So there is something holding them up from from their own individual independence in this relationship in order for them to better work together, because this is once again the 10th house, the 10th house of career. I feel like they might end up still being co-workers in some way, shape, or form. There's something you have to do together in this life that is still connected. I find this hilarious. I've never seen this before. It's, somebody being co-workers. So this leads to the fact that there is some Taurus at the end of this house, which means that eventually they could be known for music, art, what they eat together, food, or just peaceful people, hikers, outdoor, weed, wine, any of those type of things could be what they become known for. But this 11th house of what they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Your groups you connect with, the people you go out of your way to actually hang out with, your friends, your fans, would be of a Taurus nature. And that is where Sagittarius is, which means that they'd have, once again, friends, that help them expand, first off. But their friends will expand when they step into getting into the nature of the Taurus. This is hardworking people, artistic people, people who own like wineries, um, fans of art and literature and that sort of stuff, but also spiritual folks because the ninth house rules this Jupiter, sorry, rules Jupiter, and goes to Sagittarius, the thing they need in their everyday life. So this group of friends that they get into, these artists, would be special, will help everything else in this chart sort of expand for them. Also at the end of this cusp is the sign Taurus. I'm sorry, the sign Gemini, as you can see. And what Gemini means is that they have intellectual friends, fickle friends, also people that just really enjoy having their conversations. What the biggest marker here is Gemini is in 12th. The 12th house is the house of undoing, the things that would make a relationship come apart. And for them, it's not sharing their words, which makes sense because Mercury, which is the place where the energy is let out for the sign of Gemini, is in the 5th house in Scorpio. This means they don't share their words, but not sharing the words make them be passive aggressive, moody, manipulative. Sometimes they're low blows, but also the moodiness comes from this Cancer here. Sometimes giving too much, taking too much, also taking one another for granted could also be the case. It's meant from them having this sort of cold demeanor on a regular basis from last life to coming into this family energy of love and balance and just mother son loveness. That was the breakdown for this chart, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for volunteering for this.